Hey there, Jam here! A few months ago, I bought a game where you can make your favorite characters or your partners into a fandom and write fanfiction of them with Sensei I Like You So Much. Now, I know the title is genuinely horrendous, but the game is actually really fun. For starters, you can create two characters who can be in any ship dynamic that you want. They can be platonic, romantic, toxic, or anything in between. When that's done, you can then make their fandom name, ship name, and send them off so that way they can be cherished. But by who exactly? You play as the character Mila, who is a fanfiction writer of whatever fandom you created. She adores it a lot, but is really self-conscious about it. After her college classes, she meets with a character named Cordelia, who outs her in public about her love for fanfiction, but apologizes for it as it embarrasses Mila. She's read some of Mila's works and was in love, so she persuades Mila to write more about it until she was confident enough to start putting it on her own social media account. Over time, Mila grows into her own identity, but also her identity within the fandom, trying to balance work life between fandom culture and the hate that can come with it, and also maintaining healthy relationships with her friends that she's made through the community. You can make friends such as Wraith Lantern, who is Nora, an adamant hater of most ships and fakes within the fandom, but struggles with completely hating yours. Typical tsundere, but she's cute. Ethereal Snow is Blanche. She is another writer who Mila admires. When she finds out Blanche has actually liked a few of her works, it makes her geek out. She's timid yet extremely intrigued in becoming friends with her superior. Velvet Yummy is Aurelie? I hope I'm saying that right. She's super active within the fandom and hosts a ton of events. She's also very popular, so knowing her gives you an advantage to stardom, or an easy ticket to all the blacklists. Rippleboat, but as we already know her Cordelia, a stern yet honest friend. She does not hold back with Mila and tells her outright how she feels, which can make her seem rude, but she just cares a lot about her friend. Most of the time, she's a darn sweetie, and honestly, I ship Mila and her most out of any of the characters in the cast. There's a few more characters such as Scarlet and Cobalt, two oldies who've been enjoying fandom culture since they were young. They still get a kick out of writing and reading about their favorite characters. And, oh boy, Changyi Yujin, oh my god! Changyi Yujin, I hope I said that right, is Night Never Last, another older woman who used to be a really famous writer in the fandom. But these days, she just lays back and allows the kids to enjoy writing their own AUs for themselves. Now, actually talking about the game, I am in love with the concept. I'm a simulator junkie, but I've never seen any fandom simulators, no less one about being a fanfic writer. I'm telling you, the night I got this game, I stayed up playing it, knowing I had school in the morning. The art direction is also really appealing. I love the setup of how we are from her computer screen, and you can also see everything that she has to do on her countdowns or events in the calendar. It really does feel like we're playing a shy writer, and it's great. The background music is nice and bouncy. When the game was in early access, it was really grating, especially the background music they used for the character customization screen. But recently they changed it and it's a literal bop. Like, just listen to this. And I also like all of the character designs. They're subtle but cute. The art style is soft and bubbly. It's just a fun game to look at if you're like me and adore pretty pastels. Also, if you're not familiar with certain fandom terms, they have an in-game explanation for it. I think it's a great way to understand how fandom culture works if you're not particularly too nuanced on it, or you've always wanted to be a fanfic writer but just can never commit, cough cough, me. But do know, this game's fan base is Chinese, so some of the terms might not make sense to audiences outside of China. Anyways, if you don't want to use your own OCs, you can always use characters from your favorite shows, animes, etc. You can just about make anyone in this game because it's modded and they suggest you to make your own custom content. I hope I can figure out how to make custom content for myself in the game. It would be so cool. But for now, this is the only thing I can make up for a jam in the game. Oh, it's an image upload system. So they uploaded all of these images and was able to create him into the game. That is so cool. I should do that with jam. I said I was gonna do that in the video. I'll probably include this in that little section. Oh, that's so cool. So you make your own characters by uploading images into the game and then customizing them. Cool. First time playing, I created my lovely girlfriend and my real life self into the game. I wasn't being serious about it at first and called the fandom mentally ill ex-regular person core. It's so funny because the game really does take the fandom aspect to heart, and I felt bad for making it a joke since it became unfunny fast. So I changed it to pillow talk. There's so much you can do besides writing for your characters. You can make Ita bags, decorate your Ita room with items related to your character. You can also make fanzines and sell merch in a very fast-paced minigame, just like real life. Wow! You can buy various pieces of merchandise, and sometimes completing certain fics can reward you with new pieces, which you can then use and exchange it for more points or set it up in any way you want around your room or Ita bag. I also forgot to mention, there is a way you get your ideas for making fics within the game. Sometimes they're suggested to you by friends or fans, and you would make a fic based off of that alone. But if you don't have it unlocked yet, you would have to go out into the wild and figure it out for yourself. This is where all of the other activities you can do in the game are made. The library, the theater, college, etc. You're not always going to be making fan fiction because you still have a life. So while you're out living it, you can possibly get ideas for the next fic that you'll make, giving you more material to write with and more fans in the future. Whenever you write a fic, your first few times you probably get people telling you they really like it. But as you get more popular, obviously get people who aren't the most keen on what you're doing. This also helps the game feel more realistic to me. It's not just you writing and buying all the merchandise you want, but also dealing with drama and competition as you rise in the ranks of your fandom. It is a bit much to balance, but it's not anything hard at all. I've seen some complaints that people had about the game since its release on Steam, such as, why do we have to play as this random girl? I want to be a male or non-binary. Customization is too hard and janky. I can't make the characters the way that I want to, and even if I do, it crashes. Extremely buggy, crashes and lags often, and translation for English is extremely poor and throws me off at times. It's too stressful. It feels like a stress simulator from how much you have to do, but no explanation on how to do it. Decorating your room and Ita bag is really buggy. I can barely place down items that I've selected, and at times just had to start over altogether. Some of the fanfiction is so inappropriate. I know there was going to be some more suggestive fic, but it really hits you out of nowhere, and it's jarring to read. Due to the game's primary fan base being Chinese, they use slang, one of them being CP, which means character pairing, but to English-speaking players, this can be a very problematic abbreviation. It made me confused and scared that I bought something illegal. Very little textured hair options, and it's hard to make a character who's a darker skin tone due to the primary audience being those who are pale. No matter what I do, the game will not open, so I can't play it anyways. Starting out with the first issue, I get it, being misgendered sucks, but the devs are working on translations issues. You have to keep in mind the game still has a story outside the simulator aspect, with the cast being completely female. It's nothing against you or anyone who uses different pronouns from the main character. And honestly, if you play while ignoring the story and or mess ups within the translation, I don't think it's really a big deal. They still offer different pronouns that you can use, so it's not like they didn't try at all. The customization in the game definitely has room for improvement. I can vouch on this one because I have made some very cute characters within the game, but unfortunately, I cannot say they didn't come with struggles. One of my main issues is that when you're trying to customize certain items such as hair, you cannot completely edit it, and it warps weirdly whenever you try to size it. It's just a very tedious process overall, but I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not super bad, but needs improvement, and it needs to stop crashing. Update. I figured it out. So to stop any items from warping weird while you're resizing them, you can uncheck the move as whole button underneath the sliders. You want to adjust and move it carefully back into place. Debugging is so horrible though. I mean, I couldn't even load my games for a few months because it stopped working for me suddenly, and crashed a few times for me as well. The lag is definitely an issue if you're more low end, and I don't mean that lightly. I don't think the game is stressful, or even hard to understand. I feel like it's a very thorough simulator. There's enough to do at all times, so you never have to worry about not having things to do. And even if you don't have anything you can do, you can skip days. I will admit, it was hard to follow certain tutorials in the game, but after doing the task a few times, it was easy to understand. So it's just a little bit hard for me to completely connect with this one, but I can see it from a standpoint of just wanting it to be a very relaxed game. There's this really bad bug in the game, which makes it annoyingly hard to customize your Ita bag or Ita room. I'm not sure if they changed it yet. I'm just going based off of what I've experienced from the early access, so take this with a little grain of salt. But from what I remember, if another item is being used somewhere, you cannot reuse it. So you either have to buy it again or take that item out where it's already being used and place it where you want. You also cannot add as many items as you want. You can only add in items that meet a required limit that was set out for you. It's frustrating because your grade is so lowly on these things, so it's harder to progress within the game, make your room or eat a bag look the exact way that you want it to. I hope that made sense. It was just something that really confused me when I was playing for the first time.
Okay, so I figured out how you can make your eat a room and eat a bag bigger. It's with this new feature called the alterior, I think. Just your seaside house. So on the side of the screen, you go here, and it's literally your house. You get gifted it by your grandma after you complete something in the main story. I forgot what exactly though. So right here you can see room, and you can do level up. And once you level it up, you can expand your space in your eater room, which allows you to add more items. I did not even know how to do this before. I don't even know if it was a feature, honestly. And if it was, then I guess I just didn't see it. But I'm really glad that I found this now, because now I can put way more stuff in these rooms, and it is awesome.
I turned on the option for any fan fiction in my first playthrough, and I got to one that was labeled non-con. It was so weird. There's a feature in the game, play certain words with your own when you're making a fic. But these ones are still so strange since it's not completely going into the territory, but it's implied depending on what word you use within your fic. Again, the setting can be turned off partially or completely, so do not fret if that type of stuff makes you uncomfortable. I find the 7th complaint funny because it's also true. The game's primary fan base is Chinese, as it is a Chinese game. So when I went into Steam and looked into the discussions and workshop, I was so startled, but overall it's not a big deal. Anyone who can use context clues will understand that nothing illegal is going on here. I hate that this game succumbed to Genshin Impact syndrome. There are some curly hair options, but not many, and no dreads. If you're willing to manage with what you're given or make your own custom content, you'll just have to wait for an update that adds more of these features, and hopefully an option to change outlines, because I don't want everyone to be blue. Good to know the game refusing to run wasn't just a me thing, but also super bad that it is still a consistent problem, because how are people supposed to get into a game they can't even play? I know the game is already pretty niche, and probably will stay this way if it isn't given better optimization, not just to its primary fan base, but also to its overseas one too. But that's all I have to say on these issues for now. What do you think? Would you consider playing the game or just observing until further updates are made? Tell me in the comments. I also plan on making more content on the topic of shipping regarding my own characters and OCX canon. So if there's anyone interested in me talking about topics like these, feel free to subscribe. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to the hole I was hiding in. Bye!